Hi there, welcome to my channel. I'm Beatrice, and this video is a little different to what you usually find here on my channel. It's not a class, but it is an answer to a question that I get quite often, which is, what is Yin Yoga? So if you want to know more, just keep watching. So Yin Yoga originates in the 70s, thanks to Xing, a martial artist that created this practice that at the time was called Taoist Yoga. And Taoist Yoga is not Yin Yoga. It includes long-held postures, but it also includes dynamic movements. Then later on, thanks to Paul Grilly and Sarah Powers, it became Yin Yoga by just extracting the long-held postures and combining it with traditional Chinese medicine. And it became popular thanks to them, Paul Grilly and Sarah Powers, and later on also Benny Clark. In Yin Yoga, as many of you will know already, we hold postures for a very long time compared to other styles of yoga. And this is because we are addressing different types of tissues. And these tissues are not elastic like the muscles, but they are plastic. So if you imagine, for example, wearing braces, you will have to wear them for a while, otherwise they won't work. It would be great if they could straighten the teeth in a day, but it doesn't work like that. So in the same way, we were addressing those deeper tissues, and especially the fascia, the connective tissues of the tendons and ligaments, as well as all the way down to the joints. And Yin Yoga is often referred to as yoga of the joints. And these tissues need time. That's why we hold postures for so long. On top of that, because traditional Chinese medicine is part of Yin Yoga, we're trying to stimulate the meridian system. And this also needs time, just like acupressure or acupuncture, where you go and get a needle inserted on that energetic line, and you keep the needle in for about 45 minutes or so. Another important thing to know about Yin Yoga is that there are 3 important principles to the practice. The first one is finding an edge when we come into a posture. The second one is allowing time to work onto the tissues. And the third one is stillness. And the first one, the edge, means that when we come into a posture, we are going to find a space of challenge on a scale of 1 to 10, feeling sensations of around 5, never going much over that or under that. So it's not completely comfortable, but it's also not painful. The second principle, the principle of time, we have addressed that already. The reason is that we need to stimulate the meridians and address different tissues in the body. So that's why we need to allow time. And usually this time in Yin Yoga is anything between a minute, and it can go all the way up to 20 minutes. But obviously my practices, you'll usually find anything from 1 to 5 minutes, and 20 minutes can be quite long, but by all means, if you practice one posture for 20 minutes in that challenge space and never pain, that is also Yin Yoga. The third principle, which is stillness, is important because obviously if we move in and out of postures, we're not going to address those tissues for enough time. However, in especially 2 cases, you don't have to keep still. And the first case is if you feel pain. If you feel pain, please do come out of the posture and make sure that if you re-enter it, you enter it at your edge, not beyond that. Another reason is if you lose sensations and you want to go a bit deeper, you can do that too. In those 2 cases, you're allowed to move. Another point that's really important for me is that I like to keep my practice as accessible and inclusive as possible. Therefore, I would like to allow all the people that take my classes to move if they need to move. And if that need to move is not just in the body, but also in the mind. So I want people that take my practices to feel safe in the space to do whatever they feel is best for them. And this is really, really important for me. Another thing I find really important is that Yin Yoga becomes a practice of letting go. And this is both physical and mental. So in the physical sense, we let go of all the muscles around the joint to get into the posture, to really soften, to access those deeper tissues. Also, it becomes a practice of letting go mentally and emotionally, because when we remain in our space for a certain amount of time, it's just like meditating. And on that point, it also helps when you need to sit for a long time, and that's meditation. So when you want to sit in meditation for say 10, 20, 30 minutes, I think Yin Yoga has massively helped my meditation practice, both in the physical sense because it prepares the body to sit, but also in the mental sense because it prepares the mind to let go. So this is, in a nutshell, Yin Yoga. And obviously some of the things I've said come from my personal way of teaching. There are many different teachers and they're probably going to have different opinions in some ways. However, the general of Yin Yoga is this. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful. And if it was, do share with people that might find it helpful as well. Please leave me a comment with any requests, a like, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do subscribe as well. Thank you for staying with me until the end.